all my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life I've been grinding all my life. Look, all my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life I've been grinding all my life.
Hey guys, it's Sunday night, and I thought I'd do a stream on my watch list for the week ahead. I put together a little bit of a summary of my watch list for this week, and I posted it to Twitter yesterday. So I thought it'd be a bit of value to go through some of the plays. I'll probably just cover the ones for Monday in detail, and I can sort of go through my plays for each day of the week as those days are coming forward. So this is for the US market specifically. I won't be talking about any Australian stocks on the stream tonight, and this is just the US companies that are reporting this week. Lots of other stocks that are reporting on the US market, but these were the ones that I specifically found a little bit of interest in. Had a certain sentiment towards these specific stocks, and this is by no means like a suggestion in which direction we should be or you should be looking at these stocks to try to play them. Like if I have C Limited as a long play, doesn't mean that it's going to go up, or like you should do your own research. If you think you want to play the stock, do some thorough analysis, and maybe it turns out you think that you should go short on it. But I think that it's worthwhile that I provide my thoughts on it, and you can, take it with a grain of salt, but take it on board and make your own decision from it. So without further ado, so Monday, which is the US market, that will be tomorrow night when it opens. We've got C Limited reporting before market open, and other stocks. Another one that I haven't noted down actually on here, let me just pull this microphone closer. Another one I haven't got noted on here that will be reporting before market open tomorrow night is Nordic American Tankers, I think they are, and they're in the oil market with transportation of oil, and I didn't put it on this one because I didn't pick it up when I was putting my list together, but I also think that would be one to watch, and if I was to play it, I'd have the sentiment of going long on it, just because the oil tankers have been put in a position where they can really leverage the fact that there's an oversupply of oil, there's nowhere to store it, so the oil tankers are actually acting as storage vessels for the time being. And because there's nowhere else really to put the oil, they're able to jack the prices up. So I was watching the Nordic tanker CEO speak about this a few weeks back, and I'm pretty sure he said something about typically their revenue for a week, or what they charge out for a week to store oil with them on their tankers, would be $10,000 to $15,000, and that is now more like $70,000 or so because of the oversupply, and that people have no other options. So it's either you pay the price, or you find somewhere else to put it, or you just don't have anywhere to put it at all. So that's another one that before market open tomorrow night, that would be one to watch for sure. But getting back to the list that I have together, C Limited reporting before open tomorrow night, and I'll just run through each of these stocks, give you a little bit of a overview as to what those companies do, why I have the certain sentiment towards their earnings that I do have, and that might give you some insights and, give you some ideas at least of if you wanted to trade these US stocks. So C Limited, they are a company that are situated in Southeast Asia and Taiwan, and they have three main business segments, or three main arms of their business. So Garena, Shopee, and C Money. Now Garena is it's in the PC gaming market. So they offer this platform for online games, and it's like a social platform for anyone that are playing these online games. And they have that partnership. They do have a list of some of the games that partnership is with. I'm just trying to find it. I had it here before. Oh, they've got it listed here. So League of Legends, which is massive, hugely popular. FIFA Online 3, Point Blank, Blade and Soul, and Arena of Valor. And I imagine a lot of other games as well. But the reason why this is probably the main reason why I'm really interested in this company and going long on their earnings report is the gaming side of things. Now, it may be different how heavily that COVID-19 has impacted in the areas of Southeast Asia and Taiwan, but if you're at home and you haven't got much to do, a lot of people are turning towards online gaming. So their Garena platform would directly benefit from that. Another segment of their company is Shopee, which is e-commerce, which is just another business segment that would be really benefiting from the whole current situation that we have now. People are moving towards shopping online. People that typically wouldn't be shopping online, it's really bringing forward that adoption curve of online and technology. So another area of the business that has really benefited because of the current situation. And the third segment of their business, C Money. So this is a digital financial service in Southeast Asia. It offers e-wallet services, payment processing, micro-lending, and related digital financial services. So during this current time, we're seeing more people turn towards other payment methods than cash. People don't want to be handling things between, cash is sort of just filthy, really, when you think about how many people have come into contact with it. So, people are moving away from that as much as they can at the moment. And so C Money, I would suspect, has been a business segment to benefit from that as well. So across all three business segments of C Limited, I think that they've probably all benefited from the current situation. So I think on reporting, we will see C Limited do quite well. And I could be completely wrong, but as always, I'm just offering my insights, and you can just take it for whatever you think it's worth, and come to your own conclusions. But hopefully it gives you a bit of an idea on certain plays that you could get on board with. The C Limited share price has actually had a huge run, so I'm expecting that it might push forward up higher, but this run-up could work to its disadvantage. We may have already priced in a lot of its growth due to the situation already. We can see from this market low up to where it's currently trading, it's already up about 66%. So it's quite a substantial run within, about 2 months. But I think it could really surprise the market on earnings, and if indeed it does, then I think we can definitely see a decent pop out of this stock. So that's C Limited. The other two for Monday, they're going to be reporting after close. So once the market closes, which for anyone in Australia is after 6 a.m. in the morning. So we'll see these reports come through Tuesday morning after 6 a.m. But the two companies that I'm looking at that are reporting after close on Monday, Baidu, which I'm going long on, I have a long sentiment towards it, and Trivago, which I have a short sentiment towards. I think the stock will probably push down on their earnings reporting. Now, having a look at Baidu, it's a Chinese company, and if you haven't heard of Baidu before, I may be pronouncing it wrong even, but Baidu, they are basically the Google of China. They're the search engine that pretty much everyone uses in China, and that's mostly due to there's a lot of censorship, regulations, laws, and everything that's specific to China. And a lot of companies from the Western world, US and different Western countries, their products and services don't normally integrate very well with China because they have certain censorship rules and regulations and everything. So unless the company directly adheres to those regulations, which I think Google used to, and some other companies, but they found that it just wasn't working for them, and they've gradually pulled back out of the China market. So Baidu has a majority share of the search engine business within China. So they make most of their revenue through ads, just like Google does on the search platform. And looking at it now, I have the long sentiment on this stock. I think it'll go up, because I think it will be very similar to what we saw on Alphabet, which is the parent company of Google. And so Alphabet reported, I think last week or the week before, I think a couple of weeks ago now, and they did, they missed on the revenue side compared to estimates, even though the revenue did grow still. Compared to year-over-year growth, it still went up, but it didn't beat estimates. So looking at this article here, we can see that analysts had expected $10.33 in adjusted earnings per share on $40.29 billion in revenue. So they did beat on revenue, they missed on earnings. That's right. So they beat on revenue but missed on earnings. Now, there was a little bit of commentary provided by the CEO saying that there was a expected continued softening of advertisement revenue for the time being, but they still had pretty good numbers, and the stock did go up after reporting. So 10% jump or so, and we're seeing a continuation in that. It's continuing to go up since that earnings report. So I think that Baidu will have a similar situation. I think the Baidu stock has been beaten down quite substantially from its highs. It was up here, up above 240, and now we're down under $100. I think that's overdone on the sell side, and I think on reporting that we might get a little bit of a surprise, either a revenue beat or an earnings beat. I'm not sure. I don't think we'll get a double beat on this one, but I think it will be a surprise beat on one of the two. And I would suspect that we might see this stock jump up because of that. I just don't think that it will be as bad as what people have sort of taken into account on the share price so far. So that's why I'm long on Baidu. And the last one for Monday, reporting after close, is Trivago. So I'm short on this stock. Trivago, most people will know this one. If you're booking a holiday, if you want to, look at hotels, somewhere to stay, your next location that you're staying at, Trivago is a pretty common one that people use to book their hotels and make their plans for their getaway, or their even for a business trip if you stay in somewhere. And it just compares all your prices. You find the cheapest one, and normally you'll pick the cheapest one unless the other one has something that you specifically want. Now, there has been a lot of controversy surrounding Trivago. I think it was a few months ago, or maybe 6 months ago, but not too long ago, we had the whole ordeal with Trivago was sort of suggesting places based on how much people that so say a hotel owner, if they paid Trivago more, they would put that place ahead of others. So it was a little bit of wrongdoing on Trivago's behalf, and I think they had to pay a hefty fine for that. So they've had all that ordeal going on in the background, and just starting to get over that. And now, because of the whole COVID-19 situation, the people aren't traveling, people aren't going off to another country or even going interstate, and all holidays are pretty much put on hold. So you're not really going to get people trying to compare prices on where they should stay if they're not going to actually be staying anywhere other than home under quarantine or self-isolation or anything like that. So that's my philosophy, my thesis behind why Trivago will probably go down on reporting. I think it will really be shocking how bad it is. Going to SimilarWeb, this is a good little website for giving you some stats on traffic on different websites. You can search any website and it will give you the traffic of that website. So I chucked in Trivago on this one, and just at trivago.com, it's going to be different if you put trivago.com.au, but I think .com gives you the best overall idea of it. So putting in trivago.com, and from January, it had 18.8 million people visit the website, and it has just fallen off a cliff. I mean, look at that. That is from 18.8 down to 14.1 in February, down to 8.8 in March, and down to 2.55 million in April. A lot of retail companies I've done this with to see what the traffic is through the online retailers, because they haven't been able to operate through a store. And for me, if I can find a good online retailer or a retailer that has shifted pretty well to the online market, I've been trying to do some plays via doing that, and a lot of the retailers, I've seen that they're starting to bounce back. The March, April online traffic is starting to pick back up. But as you can see here, there is no sign of Trivago picking back up at all. It is just still nosediving. So I think that Trivago's reporting will be really, really shockingly poor. And that's why I've got the short sentiment on that one. So those are the ones for Monday, and I'll quickly just run through the other stocks that I got on my watch list for the rest of the week. I won't go through why I've got the certain sentiment to them. I might do a couple of more videos this week going through some of them. But if you haven't followed me on Twitter, go have a look on Twitter. Add me at TUnpacked, and you can get my watch list. I'll be doing this regularly from now on, and so go add me on Twitter if you're on Twitter, and you can catch these as I update my feed. But the rest of my watch list, so I got Walmart on Tuesday, I'm going long on, Home Depot long, Advanced Auto Parts long, they're all before market open. I got NetEase aftermarket on Tuesday. I think that one will really shoot up, that'll be a crazy one. Nordstrom, I'm not really sure what it's going to do, but it's one that I want to watch because they're in the retail market, and yeah, I'm just not too sure how it's fared with shifting to online, but it'll be one to watch for sure. I think it'll move pretty big. Wednesday, I've got Lowe's going long on before market open. Analog Devices short. And after market close on the Wednesday, I've got Synopsys going long. Take-Two Interactive going long. They're a gaming company. Expedia Group going short. That's another travel-related stock. Royal Caribbean, not too sure which direction it's going to go. It's been really beaten down, but I don't know if it can go down much further, but there's no real reason why you'd want to buy up the stock. So I'm just not too sure on that one, but I'll be watching it and see what it does. But Thursday, before open, you've got Medtronic going long on that one. After close, Nvidia going long. That's another play with people gaming more during quarantine. So we'll see how that turns out. Intuit flat. I just don't know if it will push up much more. A lot of businesses have been hurt. A lot of small businesses have been hurt by this, but also possibly more people shifting towards Intuit during this time. So I think it might stay a little bit flat, but we'll see what happens with it. Splunk going long on. Elf Beauty going long. It's cheap makeup. In quarantine, I think a lot of their sales are online, so I wouldn't be surprised if they've had a fairly good uptake comparatively to a lot of other retailers. So long on that one, we'll see what happens. And Friday, ending the week before market open, we've got Alibaba. I'm going short on. A lot of people are pulling me up on that, saying that they're long. Why would I be betting against it? It's online. It should have benefited from this situation. I don't know. I think, it's hard to tell for it, given that it's really centralized in China, and their business is quite broad. It's not specifically just, like providing a search engine like Baidu. So I'm not sure how their business I think their business may have been negatively impacted in some ways due to what we've seen. So short on that one. It could go against me, but that's the sentiment I've got towards it. And Foot Locker, I'm going long on that one. I think that it will have migrated to online pretty well. So that's the watch list for the week. If you've got any plays on the US stocks that you have for the week ahead on earnings reporting, just chuck it in the comments below. I'm always keen to see what other people are watching as well, and it's all about a little bit of a community going, throw information back and forth so we can all help each other out. So that's the watch list, guys. Thanks for joining tonight. Hope you have a great week, and you'll probably catch me throughout the week. I'll probably provide some extra commentary. So hope you have a good week, and I'll catch you later. Bye.